Hey guys, just wanted to touch base with you. I've had several of y'all inside the office and some of the team leaders in the region have asked me to explain what a 135 is and how to use it effectively in your business and your personal life to be able to take a project, make it bigger than what you could imagine, and then actually have it so it turns into a checklist where other people get to actually help you with it and check it off. You have somebody that's actually doing it, and there's even a deadline to go with it. So this is a huge thing. If you're running a business, if you're running your own team, if you're doing on the ALC, if you're on the ALC or you have a team, this is almost instrumental to be able to use this so you can leverage and really maximize your potential and decrease your time and make sure that things don't fall through the crack and make you look bad. For team leaders, huge for anything. We do stuff all the time is about leverage. And so there's a million different ways to use this. If you want to use it in your personal life, I think it's an awesome thing. I probably do a 135. I don't know how many of them I do in a week, but it's a bunch of them. And great example of that. If you want to do it in your personal life, and it's, I want to be a great husband and a great dad. All that is that becomes your vision, and then you set 3 goals of what that looks like and how you do it. And then the strategies come usually by overhearing things that they like, my wife says mine Amber loves me to go grocery shopping with her, and so if that's important to her, it's on one of my strategies to try to do that when we get a chance. So that's pretty much the overview. You can use it in any aspect, but it can be huge. And after you get through with it, you have the ability, whenever you're doing this, if you're the leader of the project, so if you're on a committee and you're the chairperson of the committee, your job is you're supposed to know what you want this to look like. You're going to come up with the vision. You're going to come up with the 3 goals. At that point, you're going to get everybody on your committee together, and the cool part, the more people it is, the more great ideas come out of it, and the bigger it gets. And at that point, you're going to write on the chalkboard the visions, the 3 goals, and you're going to ask people what are the strategies that it'll take to hit goal 1. And as they tell them, and you like it, and it kind of makes sense, and you know it aligns with where you're headed, you just put it down. And before long, it is filled out by the committee members, guided by you, and if they name it, they're likely to take more ownership in it instead of you just sort of trying to force feed them your ideas. When you get through with that, all you have to do is just go through and say, cool, so strategy number 1 is doing X, Y, Z. Who's going to do that? Who will be in charge of it? And usually the person that says it will say, oh, that'd be great, I can do that. At that point, you just, at the end of that sentence of strategy 1, you're just going to put the person's name, and you're going to say, and when can you have that done by? And you're going to put the date that it'll be due. And so if you run through all of the strategies and all of the what-ifs that way, then all you have to do is touch base with that person and see, did they do the 3 things that they said they were going to do? Very much works the same way with the team. So let me give you an example here just as an overview of what a 135 is. I'll take a snapshot of this and actually tie it into the end of this video so you can zoom in on it, you'll see it, and that way you can see the 2 different sections. Unfortunately, my chalkboard's not quite big enough to be able to do the whole project like the one at the office is. So an overview is just basically 1 vision, 3 goals, 5 strategies that will help you achieve that goal, 3 what-ifs. So what if something goes wrong? What a better time to figure out the what if than when you're putting this together and you have all of that talent in the room. So 3 what ifs, and then 1 strategy for each one of those what ifs. Okay? So that way, if you get off course, you already know, hey, we need to pull in this strategy and get us back on course. Whether that's re-meeting, whether that's changing around some people on the committee or whatever that is. So, okay? So the example I have on the board is just a vision, and this is something I did for an agent, several agents in our office. We have agents in the office that make, $200,000 to $350,000. They work anywhere from 25 to 40 hours a week. Some of them actually have multiple businesses that they're able to get done in that time, and that's the point of this, is if you're spending more time than that, and your production is not that much, then it's probably because you just haven't learned how to leverage and systemize things. And when you do, it's amazing, all of a sudden it frees up opportunity. Your income's good enough and you have the free time to spend with your family or do multiple businesses, which is pretty cool. That's what we love to see as well. So, you kind of have to start here to correct the weaknesses and then go from there. Leverage, if you don't leverage, there's only so far you can get in life and in business. So basically the vision here would be for an agent that says to increase my income to $200,000 while working less than 25 hours a week. So, you know, that would be kind of real life. So I'm here coaching. I would ask that out and I'd say, what is your vision? How much money do you want to make? How many hours do you want to work? And then that vision statement is actually generic. I just plug in their numbers and in their hours that they want to work. So cool. Goal 1, to increase your listing inventory, because that's how what MREA books tells us, Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, listings, leads, and leverage. So first thing we have to do is focus on their listings. So to increase my listing inventory to X sellable listings and maintain that at all time. Bold or 443 has a form that will show you how many listings you have to have that are sellable all the time to be able to get X amount of income. So that's where you can reference that to. At that point, you're just going to go, okay, what are some strategies that you can do on that? And they always say, I don't know, or I hadn't thought about it. And you're like, okay, so strategy 1 is if I put a gun to your head and I'm like, hey, you have to go list something today or I'm going to shoot you, or you're going to go hungry or whatever that is, and kind of throw a little shock in there and bring some focus in, and all of a sudden they go, for sale by owners, expired, whatever it is that, you know, you say, in the past when you ran into that, what did you do when you panicked, and what did you do that worked? And everybody there's 1,000 ways to do it, and you want them to tell you what they're comfortable at, because if all of a sudden I start putting in my opinions on that, and somebody just hates to cold call, or hates to call, you know, use the telephone, and I say sale by owners expired, you know, that sort of thing, they'll nod their head and say, oh, that's a great idea, and they'll never do it. So you really have to draw that out of them. Same way with the committee. You can't force that on them. So hopefully that makes sense on you. So whenever they go through there and they say sale by owner expired, you say, cool, so that'd be from 9 to 10 every day with a minimum of 5 that you're going to call a day. Is that correct? And they say, yeah. So their name goes there, and then how many they're going to do and when they're going to do it in the checklist. And so then it'd be for sale by owners, calling their database, whatever that is, and you just kind of knock out, you know, all the things that they can focus on that they know works and they're comfortable with. Goal 2 would be to leverage everything Goal 2 would be obtain X amount of buyer contracts, accepted buyer contracts each and every week, or each and every month, however you want to work that out. Some people like short term, some people like long term. That time, it's strategies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How you do that? You dominate the websites. You dominate the internet. You work your database, so on and so forth. Goal 3 is to leverage everything in your business so it's systemized and automated so you can work less than 25 hours a week. So from that, there's a bunch of strategies. You obviously have to have all of your systems, your database, your website, all automated, running without you. You have to have maybe a buyer's agent that's running without you to cover, so when you're off on the weekend and the evenings, so you're still making money, just like a broker would. They have a company, you own a company. So while they're working, you're making money. So all of those, so you just name those out. There again, the MREA book, 443, a lot of those, 3612.3, will give you some ideas there. From each one of those are projects in its own, managing your database. So you're going to have to do a 135 on how to do that, and you're going to hand that to whoever's in charge of doing it. You kind of do it with them. So now that's all leveraged and automated and time stamped by who's going to do it. And so you're always looking at who's your who that's going to handle the what's and the how's. Okay? From there, you're going to have what if. So what if goal number 1 falls apart? Well, there's a strategy for that. How would you do it if all of a sudden you got lazy and you didn't want to work? Well, you're going to pay somebody, give them a $500 check, and say you're going to, send it to their competitor, or send it to somebody, a political campaign that, that they don't agree with. So that would be some kind of accountability. That could be a what if. A lot of times that's pain, whatever that is, something that would cause you to become uncomfortable and refocus. So that's pretty much an overview of what that looks like, and that will take you and just kind of walk you through any project. Recommend doing this probably one a day for 4 or 5 days on anything you can imagine, and before long it'll just become natural. And the cool thing that it'll teach you is, instead of looking at the problem, it will allow you to step back and you will start thinking about the big picture. And so that's a very hard thing to learn if you don't have a system or a model to do that, but it'll change everything in your world whenever you figure it out. So if you have any questions about that, give me a call, shoot me an email, and I'd be glad to help with anything I can. Talk to y'all soon.